Hi, good afternoon, Saints. I have another quick book review here of this is a reference work, and this one is called so I'll just flip this around, The Dictionary of Pentecostal and Charismatic Movements. And this one actually came with a dust jacket, but I had to throw it away. It was just very, very old. It smelled bad from just the decaying of it. Uh, this was put out by Zondervan, and this copy, unfortunately, is out of print. Zondervan no longer makes this reference work, unfortunately. This is the first, actually, edition. This is from the late 80s, specifically from 1988. So this is a 1988 copy. This is what it looks like without its dust jacket. And Zondervan actually picked up this this reference work, and it looks like they re-updated it back in, I believe, 2004. The copy, I could be off on the date, but I believe that's the year that they redid it with the different cover, and they might have kind of re-updated the information on there, added more stuff. But then after that, I believe it was discontinued, so it's still discontinued. And that updated work was same title, it just says International. So the Dictionary of Pentecostal and Charismatic Movements International, I believe. So it does have that title, but unfortunately, the newer version is, as I said, it's discontinued. It's no longer in print, but you can still luckily find old copies of the old 80s used copies on Amazon. This one I got on Amazon. I believe I think I got it for like $8, and it's pretty much, I mean, it's old, but it's in a very, very good condition. There's no writing or anything, no highlighting. I mean, the cover still looks pretty almost brand new. The pages are yellowed because that's just what happens over time. But this is a phenomenal reference book to have into your library. If you're a charismatic, you're gonna love this book, like myself. Um, Maybe the cessationists will probably not like this work unless they want to use this book for research purposes or to know more about the charismatic Pentecostal movement. Um, but every charismatic should get this reference work. It's a phenomenal one to have, and it's ordered alphabetically from A to Z. So if you want to read different articles on different charismatic movements. And one thing to keep in mind, I don't agree with everything. You may not agree with everything that's in this book. I don't agree with everything that's written in some articles that I've read. Definitely do not agree. Some of these movements are false, like the Word of Faith movement. You have other groups like the Oneness Pentecostal, which are heretical. And I mean, it's good to know, it's good that they added that in here in order to understand and know that type of information, to be aware of it. But they add in anything pretty much from the Pentecostal charismatic world and just put it in here. They even have, per se, like charismatic Catholics, which I don't agree with. So it's just keep that in mind that there's articles in here that from sects or heretical groups that we would obviously reject as evangelicals, but just keep that in mind. And the book does have sprinkled photos like this. They're black and white, obviously, because it's a really old 80s copy. And here's another photo of the Roman Catholic Pentecostal Dialogue, which from participants at their 1981 meeting in Vienna, which I don't understand why evangelicals would even join hands with Rome. Just it smells like the ecumenical movement, the satanic ecumenical movement. So here you have just photos, you have descriptions of those photos. It's kind of cool to look back into history, look at different old pictures you might have seen, and anything that you can think of as far as the Pentecostal charismatic movement, it's going to be in here. It's a phenomenal not only does it also talk about sects or churches or denominations, but it also talks about distinctive uh, charismatic Pentecostal doctrines like divine healing, the baptism with the Holy Ghost, which I would definitely agree with, the divine healing and hermeneutics, things like that, different types of topics. And they also have the Calvary Chapel movement, which I'm part of, which is cool to see in this reference work. And you also find certain individuals in here that you may want to look up, and most likely whoever you're thinking of may be in here. They have like John G. Lake, Finest Stake, the very well-known charismatics of the past. I believe Mariah Woodworth Etter, and many others. Chuck Smith. So there's a lot of stuff you can learn from here, from this reference work. But to my knowledge, this is the only reference work of its kind. There is no other reference work. And when this came out back in the 80s, 1988, before that, there was no such thing as a reference work of this kind. Nobody had thought about doing, or there was never in existence, a reference work that had to do specifically with the charismatic Pentecostal movement. So when this book came out, it was a big deal because there was never anything like it. You can find good reference books on other movements per se within Christendom, or the Baptist movement, or the Presbyterian movement, so on and so forth. But one that specifically targets the charismatic Pentecostal movement, it's really truly unique of its own kind. And unfortunately, the charismatic movement has been largely neglected by many cessationists, particularly because they don't see this really taking place anymore, because according to them, the sign gifts had ceased either at the death of the apostles or the completion of the New Testament canon. But this is truly historical, and as I said, I don't agree with everything that's in here, but there's a lot to learn from, and the book is about 1,000 pages from what I read, or not I shouldn't say 1,000 pages. It's like more like 800 something, 900, around 915 pages, so close to 1,000. But this is truly unique of its own kind reference work. If you're a charismatic like myself, you're definitely gonna really love this book. There's a lot to learn and understand other movements that one may not agree with, but understand their theology and things like that. And phenomenal work to have. You can't go wrong with this reference. So if you want to pick up a copy for yourself, I would highly recommend you to go to Amazon, and there's a lot of used copies. I was thankful to find a copy that was I paid a low price for it, but at a pretty good condition. For being an 80s copy, this is a phenomenal condition, and there's no markings in it, so I'm the first to actually highlight things, so it's pretty cool. So you can find still copies of this if you're interested. And thank you for watching, and God bless.